Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Tom and Joe Show. I'm going to stop saying I'm Joe and this is Tom. Okay. We have that established.
Yes. Hey, did you see, anybody notice our last show that we have mugs?
I'm sure they did. I'm sure that it was a buzz on Twitter.
So, listen, not only do I have our two props for the show, but I've got two for guests.
Okay, so
Parting gifts.
Tom wants a guest. He thinks that we need guests on the show.
I think it'll add a lot.
So here's the deal. If you think that you have what it takes to be a guest on the Tom and Joe Show, just fill out the form over there on the left that says give us a shout, or send an email to us up on the Ask Us Anything tab, and let us know why you would be the perfect guest.
Out of all of our followers.
All of them. And I want you to just think, this is the first guest. Mm-hmm. So, this is resume building stuff for you young people out there. This is what could make you or break you. Mm-hmm. This could be your launching pad, in fact, for your entire career. So today we're going to dive right into one of our entrepreneurial core principles. And these core principles have been developed over the years. They didn't start out as being a written core principle. They've been learned through successes and failures by Tom. Mm-hmm. Failures. And the successes by me. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be covering these regularly in the Tom and Joe Show. And the first one that we're covering this evening is called Don't Buy Chairs. Don't Buy Chairs is an incredibly important core principle for us. And I want to start by telling a quick story. So I had started a business and moved it to New York City. And my business had, we'd actually sold it, which is usually what entrepreneurs will say when they barely made it out by the skin of their teeth, which is what I had done in New York. And the business was done. I was heading out of New York, heading back to North Carolina, and I was actually driving down a street in Manhattan, and I was driving by one of the largest. This was right at the end of the boom. This was middle of the bust, and everything was falling apart in New York. And I was driving by one of the largest digital agencies that had ever existed in the history of the world, and they were closing down their office in Manhattan. And as I drove by, there was a pile. It was almost a block long, of Herman Miller Aeron chairs. You know?
Yeah, I know the ones. They cost
like $1,000.
Yeah.
Like these awesome chairs.
I still don't have one.
No. But I mean there were dozens and dozens and dozens of these chairs sitting on the street in New York. I don't know what they were going to do with them. Somebody was picking them up, but it was a great illustration for exactly what we can't do as entrepreneurs.
Well, and don't buy chairs. It's really a metaphor for thinking about everything that you do has to have an ROI, especially in the beginning. Mm-hmm. You only have a certain amount of money. You only have a certain amount of time. What things are you going to focus on? And if you're thinking about focusing on how cool can I make my space, or do I have this little extra line in my logo, and all things that don't matter, then you're going to have a real tough time. Think about stuff that matters, focus on it, and believe me, you're not going to impress people by having a cool space as you're locking the door on the way out.
Yeah. Well, and the reality is that every single decision that you make when you're starting your business is an investment decision. It's either an investment of money, it's an investment of time, it's an investment of your people, and every single one of those investments has to return. They have to return. And if you spend a month in investing time on how cool your logo looks, you're just wasting time. We've been there. All this stuff, we've been there. I mean, usually we do that kind of stuff when we're trying to avoid the hard decisions.
Right.
and doing the hard business modeling and figuring out exactly what we should be doing.
Yeah, let's organize the paper clips.
That's right. Paper clips, I'm thinking red should go on this side.
Yeah.
So, and then the last one with Don't Buy Chairs, and one of the reasons why we call it Don't Buy Chairs is that we actually didn't. So Tom and I were about 6 years into our business relationship before we ever bought our first piece of furniture. So we begged, borrowed, and acquired
And we didn't steal.
a lot of furniture from a lot of different places. And so once you get to the point where you can buy chairs and you can afford to buy chairs and you've earned that right, then go buy yourself an Aeron chair if you want it. But in the beginning, don't waste money. And last point I want to make, because this is this one gets in our craw. If you're borrowing money to start your business, and venture capitalists out there could argue with us about this, but if you're borrowing money from VC, or especially if you're borrowing money from your family, which we aren't against, don't waste their money on chairs, man. Like, just downright disrespectful to go to your parents, get your mom or dad or your aunt or uncle to pitch in $30K and then go buy a $1,000 chair with it. It's just disrespectful.
Yeesh. Wow, that was harsh.
Shame on you.
Hey, see you next time.
Take care. Bye.